relationships are wonderful. My friend even said the other time that she thinks I'm a better person when I'm in a relationship.
None of them are going to.
Oh,
I don't think I'm probably dead as far as that concerned. I'm joking. I wouldn't go that far. But yeah,
because every relationship is a lesson, and every relationship teaches you about yourself. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out in these past relationships, as I said, that I fell in love with. What was the point of that? But maybe, hopefully, by the 31st of December, because after that, I'm not thinking about it.
Is it? Oh, why?
Hi, it's Sips.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am Bonga, and you are listening to and watching
the Unintentional podcast. And today we're here with our special guest, Duduza Gatsheni, Duduza. Welcome.
Sanbonani. It's nice. Ukufika la, ngiyabonga.
And you are very surprised because you met me here, and yeah, we are family friends actually.
Yeah. And funny enough, there's also commonality with me as well as well. I wouldn't say I'm per se a runner, but I'm a running enthusiast. And I've often seen Duduza Gatsheni at races and also out and about in running, because I did stay around where your running club is based, actually, Hilton Harriers. So that's where I know you from. And so again, thank you very much for accepting the invitation and joining us as well. We look forward to learning as much from you about running, and of course we look forward to the comrades, because this is the series that we're doing currently right now, so thank you once again.
So just to maybe start us off, why did you get into running and when did you start running?
Okay, good question. I think running, it was coincidental for me, because actually I was not even keen on running. I saw my sister, who's after me, running, and she would go and register for spa races. And I said to myself, but this is quite interesting. What if I try running as well? Only to find that, I think it was just a way of introducing me to running, because after that, she never ran anything. And I'm the one now who is a runner in the family, yes.
When how many years have you been running now?
Okay. I started my running socially as far as back as 2001.
Okay.
Yes, as far as 2001. And I started joining the running club formally in 2006.
Okay.
And it happened to be, it used to be Eskom Gijimas that time, and it was changed to Eskom Athletic Club. And right now I'm with Hilton Harriers, as he has alluded to earlier. So I've been running for just two clubs ever since my running career, yes.
And what do you think made you so interested in running and just consider taking it like full time?
Okay, it's like I saw something in running that is, it was like, I don't like to be, to belong into large groups. So I saw running as being a sport which is an individual sport, but not completely individual, but like you can just go out there and have your solo run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You run all by yourself, and then you come back and do your thing without maybe, joining a huge crowd and that and stuff like that. And for my mental health as well, I thought that, no, man, if I can just run, maybe it would be okay. And if you can see that running was my calling, I said I started running informally in 2001 and formally in 2006. So under my belt, I've got like plus or minus 20 years or so of running consistently. You know what I mean? Yes.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. And with running, the beautiful thing about running that I really like as well is that it's not too costly. It doesn't require a lot of equipment. All you need is a good pair of running shoes and, of course, a willing spirit and not being lazy and get up in the morning or whatever time is ideal to you. When you started running, the distances that you'd cover on the races that you did, like early on, how did you build up to doing full marathons and maybe building up then now to doing comrades?
Okay, good question. Before you run, there is this English saying that says you have to crawl. So I think the majority of runners out there, they will tell you that, okay, I started with spa, ladies, then I did my local 10Ks, and then I graduated to 21s, and then 42s, and then 50s, and then the comrades. But you cannot run a comrades marathon or any other marathon if you did not start with a 5Ks. So we have to start somewhere.
Oh yes, absolutely. And the popular 5Ks that I started with when it comes to running are the park runs every Saturday at the Duduza, and then of course there's a Hilton park run at the Grace College as well. That I think I did that once. That's a really tough course. I hated it because it was like it's a loop, right? And I'm not very good with repeated loops. I rather one and out and back or something. But yes, absolutely, building up from a good foundation. With shorter distances and building up, it really helps, and it helps one avoid injuries as well, you know what I mean, which is a good thing. So this year we're looking forward to comrades. Well, next month actually is about 14 days to go until comrades, the 97th installment of it.
Yes.
What number comrades will this be for you, and how many have you done? And
I love that question. When it comes to comrades, I remember when I considered running the Comrades Marathon. Back then, I thought I was ready, you know, and I was like ready enough to run. But I started on that year. It was a disastrous year because you know, I realized along the route that I was not ready, and I did not finish. And then after that, I can say that I was a bit unlucky because that was when I had to start the family, because I got married in 2005. Then just when I was starting to run the comrades, I did not finish the first. I can't remember whether it was the 2008 one, and then after that I had to start a family. So my kids are like 2009, 2010, as well as 2013. So you can imagine that those years I got interrupted. I will register for the comrades, then only to find that, oh my God, I'm pregnant, I can't run. And then by virtue of registering, they count that you did register, and then you know what I mean. And then this went on. I remember I was so the other year that I remember I was so ready. And only to find that I got sick. I think it was going to be an up run. So when I got to Durban, I could, in the hotel, I could realize that, no, I was not going to make it because I had a tight chest and I had some medication. Then, to sum up the whole thing, I can say I've attempted 5. I hope that will encourage someone, because I could have easily gave up and said, no man, this comrades thing is not working for me. But then after I've done with my family thing, I said to myself, you know what, now I am going to run the comrades. Then I think it was the 2015 one, something happened. Okay, I did finish. It was the down run, but I finished 6 minutes late.
So
yeah, understand. So that was like 12:06, and I was like, oh my God, I think I'm not cut out for this comrades thing. So I need just to quit, you know. Then something happened in 2016, which is very, very interesting. There came a lady who just befriended us, and she said, I want to run with you guys. We never knew her. We never met her before. But we liked her warm spirit, And then we said, no, that's fine. Little did I know that lady was sent by God to encourage me to finish my first Comrades Marathon.
Wow.
And sadly enough, we ran together. It was in 2017, I can't remember. And then she was diagnosed with cancer. Then after encouraging me to finish, and she had won Comrades Medal. And then after that, she was diagnosed with cancer. Unfortunately, she passed away in December 2017, because she did not run that year because she was starting to be sick. And each time when I run my comrades, I owe it to this woman, because if it wasn't because of her, maybe I would have just given up and said, this thing is not working.
You could always do 42s, you could always do 21s.
Which is acceptable as well, but you need,
Exactly. True.
So how has, running the Comrades, what was your favorite thing about it, and why do you keep going back?
Okay. The favorite thing about Comrades is that mentally it builds you up, and it's very challenging. And I always say to people, I've got this abundant amount of energy. If I do not put it into good use, maybe it may lead to a self-destruction. So what I like about Comrades is that feeling of preparing for something. I like that feeling, like going to qualifiers and waking up, to go to the races. And that build up, it's very encouraging for me. And it has built my character to be a person that I am. And to, I love it really. I cannot explain the feeling. It's unexplainable.
And I'll say this as well, as I think as a start to my own personal running journey, funny enough, it began with me going to spectate at the 2022 Comrades Marathon. I think that year it finished at Moses Mabhida, right? Well, I was going through a rough patch in my life at the time, and I was feeling down. I thought, let me just go and do something fun for myself. And I went to spectate. So I went early in the morning. So they have these big screens at the stadium, right? So you can obviously watch the Super Sports stream with the elites, following the elites and the various runners, of course, during the course, while we wait for the winners and everyone else to come through to the stadium. So I was there with a handful of people, just sitting there having our snacks and watching and everything. And eventually, the runners would come in. I think that year, Dejana won, of course.
Yes.
And that's the same year that Jenna Chelino crawled over the finish line as well. But fortunately, she got a silver and a fourth place. Close, because the Nedbank lady that was running behind her was very close. But anyway, so I think seeing that really inspired me as well, because that's when I actually decided to actually take running seriously. That's when a few months later, I bought my first sports running watch and everything. So as you're talking about how Comrades, what you love about Comrades and how it touches you on the inside and really moves you and inspires you, that's how it was for me as well. I don't know if I'll ever run Comrades, but at least I've got to start. Hey, you never know. But at least I've started the journey and I'm enjoying it so far. So yeah, that's what was brought about in my mind when you mentioned what you love about Comrades and so on. You mentioned when we were speaking on the socials leading up to the interview that you are vegan. You eat a plant-based diet. So how has that impacted your running, or does it impact it in any way? And how does that
That's
work?
a very profound question, and I'm glad that you remind me that. Yes, in 2019, I think we were preparing for the up run, right? Yes. So I said out of the blue, I said, no man, I'm quitting this meat-based diet. Okay, and then I started running, but I was not well informed about how do you go about with this thing. Just going to something called Turkey, and that affected my running. I remember I was struggling. A person whom has never, like you would be passed by someone and like, huh? This one, how come? And I realized that I had an iron deficiency. So my iron levels, they dipped into, I don't know. Then that was early in 2019. And I said to myself, okay, now this is going to cost me my uprun. Sure. So I went back to eat the meat. Right. Okay, just to get by, to run. And I did achieve my bronze, which is sub 11.
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you. And then this thing did not leave my mind that no, I need to change my diet. It was always lingering back in my mind. Then until November 2019, the same year, I said, this is it. I'm done with this thing. I'm going to start my plant-based journey. It was tough again. Fortunate enough, I shared a story with another runner. And she said, Duduza, you know what? I'm not a plant-based person, but I had an iron problem as well. Just try these tablets. They are found at Discam. They're quite expensive, but you will afford them. And then I went there only to find that they were like vegetable tablets, and they were very useful, and they helped me because I went for an iron test, by the way. Right. And I asked the doctor to test the ferritin level. And I was like, what do you know about ferritin? I said, I know, because that is that is where the iron is stored. When we got back the result, the ferritin level was way below acceptable level, and my iron levels were like 3.
Wow.
Sure.
So I had to build my own level. Fortunate enough, there was COVID. So we had a 2-year break. During that 2-year break, that is when I started researching about this plant-based thing, about the food, about supplementation, the B12, because I don't get B12 on my plant-based.
Right.
Then I was like, wow, now I could find myself competing with meat eaters. And now I'm like this with them, and there's no difference at all. I'm doing my marathons correct, and I'm fueling correct. It's just that the meat and the dairy is missing in my diet. Yes.
Wow.
That's
Impressive.
such a tough choice,
I
you know. But what made you choose a plant-based and leave out the meat?
I think I owe it to the church that I go to.
Okay.
Yeah, because as I gave my bio, I did say that I'm a member of a Seventh-day Adventist church, and my church is it advocates this plant-based kind of most of the Adventists are not complete plant-based, but they are vegetarians. So I said to myself, okay, let me take this further, and just go plant-based, and seeing as well my mom's health.
Right.
As we were talking with Uspi, that my mom suffered from quite a lot of lifestyle diseases. And when I looked at it, I said to myself, you know what? This could have been corrected by the diet, the correct diet and stuff like that. So I said to myself, okay, I don't want this history to repeat itself. Let me just, break this thing and start something, and being exemplary, in my family and in my children, because I'm the eldest.
Right.
In my mom's, out of my mom's babies, I'm the first one. So just to be, an example,
Yeah. And is your family also plant-based?
No, not really. And I don't push them to that route, but I do cook my plant-based meat. If they like it, they eat it. If they don't, they don't. I buy them their meat and stuff, but it's my personal journey. Yes.
Wow. I would think that's such a tough choice to make, having to just leave meat completely.
I know.
But I think your motivation and your reasons behind it, they're valid, and I wish you all the best with that. And what are you looking forward to in this year's Comrades?
That's the tough one, because to be honest, guys, I don't have any goal, like a record-breaking kind of a goal. To be honest, when I told you about the story of the lady, my first comrade finish, it was like, I had 6 minutes to spare.
Wow.
It was like 11:54 because I wanted to finish.
Right.
So after that, from there on, I was like finishing like sub 11, so I had an hour to spare.
Wow.
Then last year I finished at about 10:23, so I had about 1 hour 38 minutes, to rest and stuff. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I'm happy with where the space where I am. Because I've realized that I'm a bronze person. Right. I do get my sub 11, and which is quite, or 10:30, which is quite comfortable for me and quite working for my age. If I can say. So I don't have any, big dreams. No. Like saying I need a silver. Very interesting.
Sure. But surely the race atmosphere, the camaraderie, even your race strategy, who knows, maybe there's a certain group or pocket of people that you start with and that you guys have a race plan, or you guys carry each other through until the end, or at some point it becomes an individual race. In terms of that aspect of the race, like the course itself, the support, the various refreshment stations, the activations and whatnot, is there anything in particular that you look forward to in the race per se?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't know what kind of a person I am. I'm looking forward to everything that you have mentioned. I'm looking forward to my shoes able to carry me throughout the race, my legs, my training, even the people. All people are wonderful along the route, and also I'm that kind of a person who just come to the those batches. Like my favorite batch is batch F. I start there. So when I go there, I just look for like buses and okay, which one am I going to use? Like last year, I just came and then I said, okay, I'm taking this one. There were like so many 10:30 sub 10:30s, but I said, let me take this one. And we went with that one until I got finished. So I'm that kind of a person who I don't have a race plan like this is what I'm going and I get there, I'm like, okay, depending on how I'm feeling. But
of course. All right. No, that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Yes, just thank you so much. My last question would be that how has running, really changed your life?
I think it has changed my life for the better. Health-wise, I can say that I am healthy, and mentally I am very strong, and it has helped me, like I'm aging gracefully. I told him that I'm turning 50 this year, so which means yes, and maybe I don't look like an average, maybe 50-year-old out there.
No, you do not.
But I owe it to this lifestyle and owe it to God as well. And I think it has changed me in so many ways, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, because when I run, I get time to converse with God, because I'm a very spiritual, and so that I get time to to talk to God and to say things, and to have that quiet time with him. So it has helped me a lot. So thank you guys for having me. I feel very honored, because I met him on the route. I did not know that he was going to be interested in my journey, you know, this much. Yeah.
So
Thank you. And you're also our first female runner and on the podcast, so thank you so much.
Hopefully not the last, but let's see where we go from here.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah.
and all the best for the upcoming race, and yes, just with your running in general.
Yeah. Before I maybe I say, you know, bye-bye. I'd like to say something maybe to those who are still going to run for the first time.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are called novices.
Yes.
To my novices out there, you know what? Your first comrades, you have nothing to lose, really.
Yes.
Just get there and finish the race. No one will say, but you did not get Robert Imjali, you did not get a Bill Rowan, you did not get an Isabel Roche Kelly, those medals that are, you know, there. But just get there and finish. Even if you finish by 11:56, that's a finish. That's a medal. That's what really matters. Then afterwards, then you can start building up, improving what you have achieved. That's all I can, you know, say.
I think that's good advice because you know, people put so much pressure on themselves. And yes, I think I don't know, I haven't run the comrades, but from just thinking, we'll see, when you do something for the first time, you know, you get to learn a lot of things about next time, what can I do different or what can work for me next time. So it's just a test, it's like a trial run, a test.
Yes, you're very right, SP. You're very right. And I made an undertaking to myself and say, one day, because now, if it wasn't for COVID, I would have been going for my 9th medal.
Right.
So next year I was going to get a green number. But because of the COVID, I'm going for the 7th medal. So I made an undertaking to myself and say, one day I want to help and assist a person who would like to finish the comrades for the first time. Even if it means for me to start at batch H with that person and assist that person and guide him or her through to the finish, I won't mind doing that.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's
so,
beautiful.
how can people reach you?
I'm there in social media and stuff.
Okay, thank you so much for coming, and thank you for joining us and sharing, you know, all your wisdom and everything.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for watching, and remember to follow us on all social media at Unintentional Podcast. And just, you know, to end this off, always remember to always be your best self. Thank you.